Yeah, I'm going to do that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our weekly health and wellness talk. Our intention is to be able to do this weekly and have more times during the week. If there's anybody that would like to be interviewed, please let me know, and we're going to be putting this both in probably in LinkedIn also and Facebook. So once again, thank you for joining us, and we're going to start by I'm going to introduce a friend of mine that I met in, remind me, March? March, when I went for my certification with the Passion Test for Business. And my company is Health and Wellness, and we work from the inside out or the outside in, and my mission is to help you achieve your maximum health and wellness. So Elizabeth is someone who actually I've connected by heart and would like to introduce Elizabeth to you. So Elizabeth, could you please just tell us where you're from and a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I'm Elizabeth of Elizabeth Bone Coaching, and I live in Northern California. And I work with entrepreneurs who are starting a business, or they have a business they want to improve, and I help them discover their unique contribution, what matters most for their company to deliver their contribution. And I also work with entrepreneurs, especially when they run into obstacles, helping them to clear those blocks so that they can move forward and accomplish their goals, especially their income goals.
Cool. So before we delve into that one a little bit, what did you do in the past?
Well, coaching is a third career for me. I did major in English literature in college, and then I got a master's degree in special education. And when we moved to California and my children were very young, I didn't want to be working outside the home, so I did family daycare.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So I could be at home with them and still have an income. And then when my younger daughter started high school, I went back to teaching special education. And I did that for quite a long time. I retired from that in 2014.
Okay.
And then I discovered coaching, and I was like, wow, this is the coolest thing. So, yeah.
What is it that you like about coaching?
I really like helping people manifest their dreams. I really like helping them discover their strengths and overcome obstacles. Very
cool, very cool. So some of the methods that you use to do this, to accomplish this, you mentioned a little bit about helping them to discover their unique contribution. That's a little bit about the passion test. Is that what that is, a little bit?
That is a lot about the passion test for business. It's I became a passion test facilitator actually in 2009. I was still teaching then. And one of the things that was very clear to me was how valuable it was, because I had noticed that when I tried to do things that I wasn't really passionate about, if I was trying to earn an income that way, mm-hmm. It really didn't work for me. I didn't have the energy to sustain myself when things got difficult. And so the passion test really is a system that save yourself time, energy, and money. Yes.
So by identifying our passions, whether it's personal or business, you're saying that it kind of gives us more energy. It fuels the energy.
It does. It really does. It's like having a jetpack on.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You said 2009. I think I was like maybe 2008 is when I got mine, or something like that, when I did the passion test, for, and I guess, what do we call it? Passion test for individuals, for people, the
Yeah.
certification. And so how was it that you got tapped onto, because you've done a lot of stuff between then and now, because we just met in March with the Passion Test for Business. So you've done some other stuff too along the way to, I guess, to add some more tools into your toolbox?
Yeah. So I had enrolled in a coaching program that I really loved, and I had practice clients. And I had two clients who were really stuck with money. And what I was learning to do, the processes I was doing with them, weren't helping. We'd go through a process and they'd feel really good when we went through the process, but within 2 minutes, they were right back where they were before. And I knew that I needed to do something different. And an email showed up in my inbox for tapping into wealth coaching.
Interesting.
And I watched the launch video, and I was convinced that it would be helpful. So I didn't have the money in my bank account to pay for the program. So I said to the universe, I really need to take this program and I really want to take it, but you have to send me the money because I'm not going to borrow it and I need it soon. And I did say thank you. And I let it go. I just felt like something would happen because I felt so strongly that I needed to do this, but I didn't know. And 2 days later, I went to the mailbox to get my mail, and I saw that I had a packet from my tax person. And I knew that I was going to get a refund, but it wasn't that much. I also knew that I had a form to sign and send back to her. So I opened it up and I looked through it. And to my surprise, the refund was actually more than 4 times what she had told me it would be. And I was like, yes, there's the money. So I enrolled in the program, and the tapping into wealth was really helpful to my clients. It really moved them from being very discouraged to a place of being more hopeful, and then opportunities started to show up. And both of those clients are really doing very well. And for one of them, the tapping into wealth had really moved her in the direction that she wanted to go. But she was still running into problems, into roadblocks. And I did the passion test for business with her. And one of the things that she told me was, not only did she get really clear about her passions for her company, for her business, she got really clear about what her strengths and her talents were. And that really gave her
all through the passion test for business?
Yeah, it really gave her a lot more confidence. And she said she began to present herself really differently. And so what's happening for her now is that people are asking her to do her programs. She's been she's had new ideas for classes that she wants to teach, and she's really very clear about her vision and where she wants to go. So it's really exciting.
Very interesting. So again, you do a little bit what I do. We take some of our tools to bring them out to help other people. But the one thing that you did say was that, you can tap for the wealth, but until you know what you want, until you're passionate about where your wealth is going to come from and clear, sometimes that doesn't work, and vice versa. So those two tools go very well for you, for helping others. I know myself, when I think about myself, that I've been self-employed probably for maybe 30 years. Okay, I went out on disability in '84. So that's whatever that is, how many years? That's probably longer. And so it's that mentality, when you think about, I'm disabled, I can't work, so I can't attract money, okay? Or there's some other things that are self-worth can't attract money. And I guess, we've had a conversation before that I always get by. I've been able to buy and sell homes and buy cars and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I generally get what I want, but I don't think it was until I personally took the passion test for me that I got clear, because I guess there's that term, there's another shiny object out there. You know what I mean? How many shiny objects come by, like you said, that came through your email, okay? Or you can go to an event and somebody can wave, oh, try this, try that. So how many shiny objects pass by our face, And what's nice about the passion test, personally, I got clear on my personal, right? Be able to say, well, these are mine, and until I get to a certain point, which we talk about when we get involved with it, that the other things we learn how to say no in a nice way, in a loving way, I should say, but for me to be able to use it, because you would like working with entrepreneurs, is that correct? You like the entrepreneurs, the female, the passion test for business seemed to be like a real nice fit. So how did you find that? Was that through an email too? Was it, did Ulrike, how did you find that?
The passion test is more than a set of tools. When you take the passion test facilitator training, you become part of a family. And one of the master trainers does a weekly call on the Zoom platform. And often there's a guest. And one of the guests was another master trainer who, I guess she is the one master trainer who really specializes in teaching the passion test for business. And she was on the call that particular morning, and I was listening to her, and it really sparked something in me. And it was really interesting because I had no real inkling to work with businesses. I was focused on working with individuals. But what she said, for some reason, it just really spoke to me. And she was saying that there was a training, the beginning in March, and it was really interesting because I felt like I didn't have the money for it. So I really do what I do, ask for some guidance about it. And the guidance really felt like I really should do it. So I did sign up for it, and it was something really interesting happened. Like I registered for the class, and then I think later that day, or maybe it was the next morning, I got a text message from my bank. And I have my bank notifies me if my account goes below a certain amount. So I got this text message, but it was really interesting because there was $500 more in my account than there had been the 2 days before. And I thought, that's really strange. I didn't put any money in this account. And so, when I went online and I looked at it, and it was $500 more, and I never did figure that out. But like, okay, I was just like,
hurry up and take it.
That's really, I'm happy with that. Then I was really happy with the course. It opened new doors for me. And one of the things I realized when I looked at who I most enjoyed working with, it was entrepreneurs, and not necessarily just women. I've really enjoyed working with men too.
Mm-hmm.
What I like to work with people who have a dream. There's a contribution they want to make, And
Mhm.
their business is not, it's more than about money. And one of the things that I have found really true is that when you focus on what you really love,
Mhm.
the money does follow. And if the money is not following, that's because you have blocks that are hidden from you. They some
Uh-huh. Yeah,
some
that's
people call them paradigms.
right. And I'm writing that down. Focus on what you love and the money will follow. And I'm going to touch back on that one in a second. But a lot of similarities. Being an entrepreneur and you've been out on your own looking at different things. So it's helping others. We definitely see the benefit of identifying your unique contribution,
Yes.
and coming up with, your passions and the plan and actually of the cultural action plan that we do in the course and everything really seems to get us more. It's an action plan, which is pretty cool. Doing it with other entrepreneurs and doing it in the Zoom atmosphere is very, very nice because I met you. You're in California. We had somebody actually that was over in where was she? Newfoundland or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's international. And to put a plug in a little bit for the passion test, because again, when we talk about finding the money to do the passion test, it's not like some of the other courses that I've seen out there that, it really is reasonable at the end of the day because we pay a fee for the course and then we have our calls forever with just like a yearly $97 or whatever renewal, you know what I mean? And then the other plans. And I don't know if you've ever gone back and assisted
I
before.
have. I
that
have a
that is
lot.
that is really nice, and they don't charge you to come back, which is really, really cool. So it's not only the money, but it's the being around the like-minded people that are passionate about what we do, which is really, really cool. So, looking at it, and again, being recorded, and we're going to be putting it out there for anybody who's listening to the recording. First of all, thank you very much. Number two, share it with others. And number three, if you'd like to have more information about either of the programs, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the tapping for wealth and the passion test for business, or if you know somebody else who might be interested, also share this with somebody else. So before we go further into something else, what is a good way to get in touch with you, Elizabeth?
You can get in touch with me by emailing Elizabeth Bone, ELIZABETHBONE.coach@gmail.com, or you can go on my website, elizabethbone.com.
Cool, very cool. And again, mine is a healthandwellnessco.com. So that's a healthandwellnesscompany.com. So going back to money,
Yes.
okay, and focus. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
when a passion comes up where I want to, and again, that's mine needs to be, tweaked again because I want to look. I'm receiving $40,000 a month, whatever. It's not the money, but as
Mm-hmm.
much as what I can do with the money.
Yes.
Correct, and doing what I love and what you love, helping others, or for me, I have the dancing. I love dancing, you know what I mean? The money, trusting that the money will follow. Um, and if it's not following, evidently you're saying that there's a block.
Yes.
Okay. So to go into that just a little bit more, because we just finished a 4-week Passion Test for Business Zoom class, and I have another one scheduled November 14th. But our intent is a little bit is for Elizabeth would like to be able to do either Zoom. She can do Zoom one-on-one with the EFT for money also. So if you can, I don't. Would you mind taking a little bit of time and explaining that and seeing what the course would be about, and just maybe go into something that, because I know for me, and we've had this conversation because we talk weekly and stuff, that there has to be a block because I just get this much. You know what I mean? I get just enough, and I want more than just enough. Same thing when I was talking to Ulrike about the passion test for business. I didn't have the money either, but I wrote it down. My intention was to have X amount of dollars by a date, and it showed up. You know what I mean? So, I put signs all over my office, for my intentions. I don't know if that helps too, So,
Yes.
can you go into the program again and explain, like, I know it's EFT, but, what does that stand for? And a little bit about why you find it so effective. And if you want to show any of that, that would be great too.
Yes. EFT means Emotional Freedom Technique. And it's also called tapping because that's what you're doing. You're using the fingers of one hand or both hands, and you're tapping on acupuncture points. And I can briefly go over the acupuncture points. The first one is on the side of the hand below the little finger. It's the fleshy part, and you're just tapping on it with the tips of the four fingers of your other hand. And that's called the karate chop point. And then there's an eyebrow point, and that's where the hairs of your eyebrow meet your nose. And just tapping there and following that bone to the side of the eye. And there's a tapping point there. And following that bone under the eye and tapping under the eye. Then under the nose. Under your mouth, there's a little cleft in your chin. There's a tapping point there. And then you have collarbone points. And what I find easiest to do is to use the palm of my hand and just tap where a man would wear his bow tie. There's a point under the arm, and if you take your hand, it's a hand width down from your armpit. So just taking your hand and then moving it down one hand span, tapping there, and then tapping on the top of the head. And what you're doing is, as you tap, you're voicing, you're talking, and usually before we start tapping, let me back up a little bit. Emotional freedom technique is the reason that we're doing it is to clear stuck energy out of our nervous system. And the energy that runs in our nervous system from anxiety, anger, frustration, worry, discouragement, those emotions that pull our energy down and make us not feel so great. So every thought that we think triggers a chemical reaction in our brain. And some of those chemicals, if our thoughts are positive, then we're releasing positive chemicals that create positive emotions, like happiness and joy. And when
is that like endorphins?
Endorphins, serotonin,
okay,
oxytocin, dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the feel-good chemicals. And when we have thoughts that make us feel, that trigger cortisol, adrenaline, chemicals, hormones like that, then those are called the stress hormones. Then we're going to feel stressed. We're going to feel anxious. We're going to feel worried. We have thoughts that make us feel doubtful. And they pull our energy down. And they also put us in a state where our thinking is more contracted, and we have trouble being resourceful. So, for example, when someone looks at their savings and the balance is, well, it's zero. I don't have any savings. The feeling that often comes up is like a wave of anxiety. Like, if something really happens, I don't have a cushion, so I don't feel safe. And that starts running in your nervous system. And it's hard to be resourceful. It's hard to see ways that you could begin to save money.
So you're saying by tapping, we change our mindset, we get more money in the bank, okay, and then you wouldn't go through that feeling of fear and anxiety, because as a result of tapping, we're attracting more money to us.
What happens is you first of all need to tell the truth. And one of the things that I found happening, so for example, I talked about a couple of people who were really stuck with their money. Well, they had done a lot of personal growth work and a lot of spiritual growth work. And they were very positive people most of the time, except when they looked at their money. And then they really felt the stress, but they were trying to push it away.
Okay.
And what happens is you're splitting your energy. You're trying to be positive, but deep down, there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's, I can make an analogy with an iceberg. There's 5% of it above the waterline and 95% below the waterline. So that's what took the Titanic down.
Thanks for saying that. I'm on my cruise 2 days.
Well, I don't think you're going to get
tap
that
my way
kind of weather. Right. But really that's what I'm saying, that what happens as you begin to voice what the issue is, something happens. There's a shift in your energy, and you're able. They don't, researchers have been researching emotional freedom technique, trying to figure out how it works. They know that tapping on those acupuncture points is really effective for releasing stress. They have plenty of studies that show that it's very effective with veterans who have PTSD,
wow, that's
post-traumatic stress disorder. That somehow it shifts, it releases the stress that they're feeling, and they begin to be able to think differently. So it's really facing what's there.
So cool. So this is one thing that works very well with identifying, especially for personal and for business, because you can have all your ducks in the row, but if you're not ready to have the money come in, you're going to have that vicious cycle and say this doesn't work, because most of the studies have shown that even with you, because you've dealt with a lot of professional and successful people, but the success was limited because they had the money block, right? You're saying that
and one of the things that sometimes happens. So, for example, sometimes when people do what they love, it's very easy for them, and they have a belief that you have to work hard for money. And so if they're doing something that's easy and fun for them, then they don't deserve to be paid for it. So they have trouble asking to be paid for it.
Bingo! That's a good one. That's a very good one. So without spilling all the beans, because this is just a little interview here, and I can talk to you all day about this stuff here. One of the goals is basically that is if someone who's watching this is interested in more information about the passion test and money, tapping for money, we can get in touch with Elizabeth or get in touch with me, either way, for the passion test. Doesn't really matter. If somebody's interested in finding out or want to be able to be interviewed also, we again put that in the messages here. But if, because I find this the more and more I talk to you about it, the more excited I get, more believing, because you did it twice you did it 3 times. I missed one of the Monday morning masterminds, where you did the tapping for the money, and that first week I actually got more than we were asking for $1,000 to be coming up in a bank, and I actually there was more than that was showing up, and then we did it yesterday, and I got a check for $75. So
nice.
So if you could just take a minute and maybe just go through that and be specific, because I am going on this cruise on Thursday, and it's a 17-day cruise where some of the intentions is that it's the Queen Mary going across the Atlantic.
Wow.
And it's the largest dance floor on the ocean. So being that Larry and I do ballroom dancing, we intend to dance a lot. Yet we can also do private lessons if somebody wants to ask us. So we're always, like you say, if you're doing what you love and being able to get paid for it because we feel worthy of being paid for it. You know what I mean? Because they're going to go someplace else and pay for the lessons. The same thing with my health and wellness, with the products. Again, being that, the ages that we are, Larry being 77, me being 64 in November, and just how active we are because of, some of the products that we do. One major product that we do take, the collagen product. So if you could just go over, I'd like to have over the next 11 days or 17 days, be able to have more money come to me, or me and Larry, while we're on a vacation. It would be nice to have more money come in the bank, right?
Yes.
So what do you suggest that we do?
Well, one of the things that, if people are familiar with the law of attraction, one of the things that you're taught or that you learn is that the only reason you don't have what you want is because somehow you're in resistance to it. So when we start tapping on the side of the hand, that we say a statement or a couple of statements 3 times. We repeat them, and it's called a setup statement. And you don't have to do it all the time. I do like to do it sometimes. So we will start with that.
Okay, so I was, and again, I hope people, when they're watching this, that they take notes, because I took some notes. So I just wanted to highlight some of the notes so I don't forget. So I'm back with you.
Okay. I'd really like to have more money.
I'd really like to have more money.
Excuse me. I should say that I'm leading you in the tapping, so I'm going to say a statement, and you'll repeat it.
Okay.
Just letting people know that. So, I'd really like to have more money.
I'd really like to have more money.
And I have some resistance to it.
And I have some resistance to it.
And even though I do, I love and accept myself.
And even though I do, I love and accept myself.
I'd really like to have more money.
I'd really like to have more money.
I must have resistance to it.
I must have resistance to it.
And I'm just going to love and accept myself anyway.
I'm just going to love and accept myself anyway.
I'd really like to have more money come in while I'm on my cruise.
I'd really like to have more money come in while I'm on my cruise.
I feel some resistance to it.
I feel some resistance to it.
And I'm going to love and accept myself anyway.
And I'm going to love and accept myself anyway.
Starting on the eyebrow point. I'd really like to have more money come in while I'm on my cruise.
I'd really like to have more money come in while I'm on my cruise.
That would be really awesome.
That would be really awesome.
That would make me feel really good.
That would make me feel really good.
I'd love to have more money come in.
I'd love to have more money come in.
Especially while I'm having fun.
especially while I'm having fun.
I'd really like to have more money come in while I'm on my cruise.
I'd really like to have more money come in while I'm on my cruise.
I feel a little bit of resistance to that.
I feel a little bit of resistance to that.
Money coming in while I'm having fun.
Money coming in while I'm having fun.
Sounds really good.
Sounds really good.
I'm so used to working hard for money.
I'm so used to working hard for money.
I think we're supposed to work hard for money.
I think we're supposed to work hard for money.
I'd rather have it come in while I'm having fun.
I'd rather have it come in while I'm having fun.
I'd really like to have more money come in while I'm on my cruise.
I'd really like to have more money come in while I'm on my cruise.
I wonder if that could happen.
I wonder if that could happen.
I wonder how it could happen.
I wonder how it could happen.
I'd really like to have money coming in while I'm on my cruise.
I'd really like to have money coming in while I'm on my cruise.
That would make me feel abundant.
That would make me feel abundant.
That would make me feel more financially secure.
That would make me feel more financially secure.
More financially safe.
More financially safe.
I really like that feeling of safety with money.
I really like that feeling of safety with money.
Really like that feeling of being secure and abundant.
I really like that feeling of being secure and abundant.
I wonder how that could happen.
I wonder how that could happen.
Right now, I really don't know.
Right now, I really don't know.
But I'm open to it.
But I'm open to it.
I'm open to the universe sending money to me.
I'm open to the universe sending money to me.
I wonder if I can let go of some of my old beliefs about money.
I wonder if I can let go some of my old beliefs about money.
I must have some limiting beliefs about money.
I must have some limiting beliefs about money.
And maybe I don't know what they are.
And maybe I don't know what they are.
But I'm really willing to let go of them.
But I'm really willing to let go of them.
I'm willing to have a whole new relationship with money.
I'm willing to have a whole new relationship with money.
I'm willing to say yes to money.
I'm willing to say yes to money.
I'm willing to say, money, I appreciate you.
I'm willing to say, money, I appreciate you.
Money, I appreciate all the things that you've brought into my life.
Money, I appreciate all the things that you brought into my life.
I appreciate this cruise.
I appreciate this cruise.
I appreciate the clothing that I have.
I appreciate the clothing that I have.
I appreciate all the good food that you buy for me.
I appreciate all the good food that you buy for me.
I appreciate the car you provided for me.
I appreciate the car that you provided for me.
I appreciate all the great products that you buy for me.
I appreciate all the great products that you buy for me.
I'm saying thank you, money.
I'm saying thank you, money.
I really appreciate you.
I really appreciate you.
And I'm welcoming you.
And I'm welcoming you.
I'm welcoming you into my bank account.
I'm welcoming you into my bank account.
I'm welcoming you into my purse.
I'm welcoming you into my purse.
I really appreciate you, money.
I really appreciate you, money.
And I'm saying yes to you.
And I'm saying yes to you.
And I'm letting the universe know.
And I'm letting the universe know.
That I'm saying yes to money.
That I'm saying yes to money.
Money coming to me in expected and unexpected ways.
Money coming to me in expected and unexpected ways.
I'm open to inspired ideas.
I'm open to inspired ideas.
For bringing money into my bank account.
For bringing money into my bank account.
And I'm open to money showing up unexpectedly.
And I'm open to money showing up unexpectedly.
And in surprising ways.
And in surprising ways.
I am saying yes to money.
I am saying yes to money.
I am allowing money to flow into my life.
I am allowing money to flow into my life.
And I'm appreciating money.
And I am appreciating money.
I'm appreciating all the good money can let me do.
I am appreciating all the good that money can let me do.
I'm appreciating being able to give to others.
I'm appreciating being able to give to others.
In bigger ways.
In bigger ways.
I am appreciating money.
I am appreciating money.
And I'm saying yes to money.
And I'm saying yes to money.
I'm saying yes to the universe bringing money into my life.
I'm saying yes to the universe bringing money into my life.
For my highest good.
For my highest good.
And the highest good of everyone concerned.
And the highest good of everyone concerned.
And take a breath.
That's really awesome. So for those of you who are watching this, go through this again, and being that it's recorded, you can listen to it many times. Some of the nuggets that I took away was that, number one, the EFT means emotional freedom technique. So that means freedom from emotions. The other one was to need to tell the truth. That's very important for us to hear the truth and tell the truth. And one of the old beliefs that we need to work on is a belief that we have to work hard for money. That is not necessarily true. And the only reason you don't have what you want is because you are in resistance. So looking at this here, if you think any of this, if it's stirring up any emotions, you might want to reach out to either one of us or both, or especially with the money issues, definitely reach out with Elizabeth. And remember, the other thing is to focus on what you love, and the money will follow. So don't look at people with a price tag. Look at people on how you can help them feel and be better. So is there anything else that you'd like to say, Elizabeth, before we come to an end on this?
Well, I want to thank you, Chris, for inviting me to do the interview and to talk about what I do. I really do like to share information about both tapping into wealth and the passion test for business, because I see how those two systems have really helped people to transform their lives.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. So once again, the name of my company is ahealthandwellnessco.com. You can find me through the many places. My name also, just Google. If you'd like to have more information about some of the other products that I do, you can definitely just put that in the messages, or my number is 321-258-5916. And Elizabeth is elizabethbone.coach. Is that right?
Yes.
At gmail.com, and your website is elizabethbone.com. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon, and we look forward to you sharing with us any of your comments in the future. Thank you, and have a great night.